Here are the 2022 Can Am Ryker 600s. Now they made a few changes to this model year versus previous. Not too many, but some nice subtle ones to make them a bit better. But should you upgrade or replace the one you've got now? No, you don't need to. But if you're in the market for a new one, these will do just the job. It still has the same 2-cylinder engine, 600 cc's, 50 horsepower, which is 37 foot-pounds of torque, which isn't much, but it's definitely good to get you around town, out and about. But if you're going to do long sustained runs on the highways, then you may find it a little uncomfortable. It will do it. I just find that most riders don't like to ride anything that's at the higher end of its RPM. So the engine will sound louder and vibrate more on the highway because you are at the end of its power. Now I've got the lid open here so you can see the engine, but you've got the coolant. It does take pink coolant, not green. It's got your fuse box here, then your battery, and this one is equipped with the battery charging cable, so I think the dealer did that, but that's a good thing to have as well. But pretty basic, but also not changed from previous models is how delicate the front end is. So this is plastic and that's the radiator, so that can be easily damaged by rocks or running it into a pole or something equally as hard. So I really like to see more reinforcement up front here to protect that delicate aluminum radiator. Here is the front trunk, or the frunk. It still has the USB, so you get 2 USB ports there so you can charge your device or plug in your GPS. So that is handy. I got a bit of storage here for your manual. It does come with a screwdriver. Look at this. We got some extra keys. Now, what are these for? This is so you can lock the parking brake. So now nobody can unlock it and roll away with it. Not that that was a problem beforehand, but it was something that people were asking for, and you got it. So now this is locked, unlocked. Now it can be rolled away and started. So that is good to see. The key is still the fob here. So it's not an actual physical key. It's just something you attach there. So as long as that is in place, it will start. Another place the key works is the fuel tank. So the fuel tank now can be unlocked, so nobody can steal your fuel or put nasty things in it. I don't think that was a problem before, but so there you go. That's nice to see as well. I mean, I don't think anybody would know where to find the fuel on these things because of the slide-in cover. So that's nice to see. What doesn't get the lock is the place where you put your valuables. So the front trunk here does not get a lock, so I don't know why this is when you're going to put locks on the fuel cap and the parking brake, but not where you store your valuables. So I'm confused about that. I'm sure you are too. So the right panel is where you check your oil. Got your air filter and all the warning information there. There used to be a fuel funnel here. That's not there, so I guess you don't get that anymore. Maybe the dealer forgot to put it in, but I did check the other one and it does not have it either. So no fuel funnel for you. Also good for the oil. So yeah, maybe they just forgot about that, but nothing's changed in here. But this is where you go for your air filter and oil. Okay, so at the front tires here, you've got your disc brake, which is excellent. ABS standard, traction control standard, stability control standard. What stability control means is when you're turning hard to the left or the right and the front tire here, or one of them is coming off the ground, it will adjust the throttle for you so it doesn't get worse. fairly standard front shock, so nothing too fancy there. It does have a steel braided brake line, so that is good. So that means no matter how much you use the brakes, they should not fade. If this was a rubber tube and it heats up, then the brake fluid can't get to the brake disc quick enough, which causes brake fade, which is just translated means your brakes aren't working. So that is good to see there. It still has your standard halogen light bulbs. I think they could go LED now. A lot of entry-level motorcycles that cost half as much as this have LED headlights, so it would be good to see those standard. I've also asked them to equip these with a windscreen because this is needed. When you're on the road and it's windy, or even when it's not windy, it's nice to have the windscreen so you don't blow around so much. This cleans the air that will move over and through your helmet. So definitely get a windscreen. And this one is adjustable, so you can move it up or down. So everything is still the same here. You can still adjust the handlebars. You still have your high beam signals and horn, starter button and kill switch, and then the throttle. Starting it is still the same as well. You'll just hit that gray button there, which activates the display. The display is the same. Still has great visibility in the sun. It's just really basic. All you're going to get is kilometers and odometer and time up here, your speed, and then the RPMs. You got the fuel gauge and the heat on the side. So back to starting it. You got your foot on the brake. Make sure to beep the throttle so you roll against it, and then you can start it up. And it sounds just like the previous year's models. Fuel tank still has the same capacity, 20 liters, or about 5 gallons. So it's going to cost you about $40 to fill up, or more depending on what your cost of gas is. And that'll get you around 200 kilometers, maybe 150 miles. It really depends how you're riding it. So this is new from last year, is floorboards. Well, they're mini floorboards. They're not pegs. They're not full-size floorboards. They fit about half your foot, maybe your whole foot if you're really tiny, but they are more comfortable than the pegs. So both the models I got came with these floorboards, and they are comfortable. I do prefer them over the pegs, and they're not too big either. It is still adjustable, but now it does require some tools to adjust these forward or back. Same with the brake pedal there. It's still adjustable. Just don't adjust that brake pedal too far down. I do find that people tend to not get as good a feel for the brakes. So yeah, that is a nice change and update they've done. You still have your forward and reverse here. So it's in reverse now, and then to get to forward, you just kick it forward. Your rear shock is right here, and that is adjustable. That's what those notches are, so you need a suspension key to pull that down or forward, so you can adjust the feel of your ride to be a little stiffer or a little softer. So if you're carrying a lot of weight back here, you probably want to stiffen it up. It's still a shaft drive, so in here is a couple of gears which turn that rear wheel very quickly. So acceleration is very good on this, and it requires no maintenance, so you don't have to worry about it. You will after about 30,000 kilometers. You got a disc brake back here as well, so disc brakes all around, which means incredible stopping power. So be careful when you stop quickly, because the person behind you is probably going to rear end you, because nothing else on the road can outbrake these Can Am three-wheelers. Why is that? Is because the two wheels are up front, meaning all of your weight and momentum goes to those front tires, which grip the ground incredibly well, and not much weight either to bring to a stop. So Excellent stopping power, but be careful who's behind you. So not too many changes for the 2022 Can Am Ryker 600s. Still very similar to the 2019s and the 2020s and the 2021s. So there's no need to rush out and get this model unless you want those subtle differences. I'm sure a lot of the parts can be ordered to replace the model you have now. So if you can find a good deal on a 2019 or 2020 or 2021, go for that. But if you want the brand new, the latest, the greatest, including a pink leafy color or a nice teal and white color, go out and grab those panels. They do come in all sorts of colors, so you can customize it any which way you want. Can Am really prides themselves on being able to adjust and customize these units to what you need. So it could be luggage, passenger, seats, new seats. Just replace that seat there. I find that seat uncomfortable. That lip at the back looks good, but doesn't offer a lot of support. It just sort of digs in to your lower back there. So I don't like it. I'd rather have something flatter, wider, and softer that is good for the long haul. So there's not a lot of changes with this model, but it's pretty good. So not a lot of changes were needed anyway. So go out, get one, ride around, enjoy it. You will. And if I'm missing anything on this video, please let me know and I will add it. But good work, Can Am, and I'll be here to train you how to ride them.